All right, so here's a cool technique that people can play with to create more of a sense of certainty with something that you want. Okay, because so much of this inner work is about choosing something you want and being able to create a sense of, call it faith, call it knowingness, call it certainty, positive expectation. So here's one good way is you look at something in your mind, right, that you can see with clarity, that you can see with complete belief, complete clarity and certainty. Okay, because when we can't get ourselves to believe something, in other words, doubt, the way we represent doubt in our minds is usually a fuzzy pattern, a fuzzy mental pattern. You know, like if I have somebody imagine, let's go through it. Like you can even do this with your eyes open, but if you close them, it's even better. If I have you imagine what it's like to take a shower in your bathroom, you can see it with clarity. I'm sure, of course. But if I have you imagine yourself as a billionaire, okay, that's probably kind of dark and fuzzy. Or if I have you imagining, being the best in the world at what you are doing, that's probably kind of fuzzy. Or if I have you imagining being with the perfect ideal mate, like if anything were possible and you could have the perfect ideal mate with all the perfect traits that you want, can you see yourself with clarity? Let's say whatever, walking hand in hand or walking down the street with this person. Chances are, if you've never thought of it, unless you've been contemplating this a lot and doing this kind of work, but if you've never contemplated it, chances are that it's kind of fuzzy for you. But if I have you imagine what it's like to take a shower in your bathroom, it's probably very clear. If I have you imagine what it's like to have a glass of water in your kitchen, it's probably very clear. If I have you imagine what it's like to stand in front of your bathroom mirror and brush your teeth, that's probably clear. So if you look at the little components of when you close your eyes and the little sensory components, in NLP they call it the submodalities, all the sensory components, your visual, the audio, the way you see it, the way you hear it, the way you smell, okay? If you can take the thing that you can see with clarity, let's say taking a shower in your bathtub, okay, and you're normally most people see it with richness, right? It's vivid, it's colorful, it's usually you can connect feeling to it right away, okay? So everything is sharp and clear. So if you look at that image, close your eyes and you look at that image and you see how sharp and clear that is, and you see just how exactly it's sharp and clear, and then you let that image drop, and then you look at something that you're doubtful around, and almost always it's going to be fuzzy, and it's probably going to be maybe somewhere kind of like down and to the left, or somewhere in the brain that's usually kind of fuzzy, but it's almost always going to be dark and fuzzy, black and white usually even. So if you practice now taking the thing that you want to believe, let's say being the best in your industry, or having that perfect partner, or being the billionaire. And you don't have to imagine being a billionaire. I'm just throwing stuff out there. I knew billionaire would be hard for people to relate to, so I chose that on purpose. But it doesn't have to be. We don't have to go that far if that seems a bit much. But you take the thing that you want, whatever like an ideal goal is for you, and you try to make the images of it as exactly with the clarity that the thing is like taking a shower in your bathtub. And if you practice taking all those things that you want and creating it with that level of clarity, the brightness, the sharpness, the way you can feel it, the way you can smell it, but with the thing that you want, and if you practice recreating in your brain what certainty, how certainty, knowingness plays out in your mind, then you can get better at quickly creating a sense of knowingness, certainty in your mind. Because boom, it's right, when I close my eyes, it's like right in front of me and a little to the right, because the right in my brain represents the future. And I know that it's kind of bright, and I know that it's crisp and clear, and I know the colors are very rich, and I can easily smell, what's in the environment. Even if it's like an insignificant thing, even if it's just like, the smell of a room. It doesn't have to be like there's always going to be a smell that's significant. and you keep practicing making those senses as sharp as the shower thing, or the taking, or the brushing your teeth or whatever, and then you know to go right to that, and then you can start creating a sense of certainty with just about anything very, very quickly, because you know how to put all the sensory pieces of it together, and then boom. And it's something that takes practice. It's not something that usually almost anyone's going to master overnight. Okay, it's something that you're going to do as one of your daily practices, creating certainty in your mind by adjusting all the little submodalities, the little sensory aspects, and committing to something like this. Imagine what this can do for your life. Being able to know how you create a sense of certainty or confidence, total knowingness around something. I mean, imagine the level you can take your life to if you could do that with all your important desires or goals. So go for it. I think this is a worthy exercise to practice.